Hey guys, this is Leah from Freedom and Coffee. I did a post a while ago, probably a couple weeks ago, about side hustles and just the reasons for them, the benefits for them, and why you might want to consider a side hustle. So I thought we would do a little discussion today, just talking about side hustles and maybe brainstorm a little bit about what options there are for side hustles, and we'll go over what it is and what the benefits are and why you might want to consider one. There's a lot of good reasons to consider a side hustle, but first of all, let's talk about what is a side hustle. A side hustle is any kind of side job or side gig that you do for extra money. So it could really be almost anything. It could be dog walking or tutoring or anything that you're kind of doing part-time and just making a little extra cash from doing. So that's the basic definition. There are tons of different ways to do a side hustle. What are the reasons or the benefits that you might want to do a side hustle? The main one that most people usually think of is extra income. I need a little extra cash. I want to go to the movies. I want to be able to go out to eat more. I just want to have a little extra money. So I'm going to try to do an extra job so I'll have just some disposable income. So obviously that's one of the first things you think of. The second thing, and maybe the most important thing, is tax deductions. Once you start your own business, which is really when you're working on your own time from your house or using your own car, using your own resources to try to make money, anything you invest towards that business is tax deductible, or most things. Sometimes it's a percentage. But a lot of times these tax deductions are things that you're already spending. So we're going to go into that in a minute. And this is how you can save a lot of money. Even if you don't want to make extra income, tax deductions can be a huge benefit to a side hustle and a big reason to consider doing it. Another reason would be flexible schedule. So you could do it on your off time. You could do it when you're, in your downtime or when you're not working at your regular 9-to-5 job. You have an ability to work from home or really anywhere with a lot of different side hustles. And a lot of times it's doing something that you love to do. Obviously, if you're going to do something extra, you're going to want it to be enjoyable, right? Because it's in your downtime. Another thing is that side hustles can sometimes have the potential to grow into a full-time gig or even replace the income that you're now receiving at your full-time job. Or if you don't love your full-time job, you may eventually be able to replace that income and do it full-time. So let's talk about the tax deductions. What kind of tax deductions can you get from a side hustle? There's lots of different tax deductions that you can get. And it's going to depend on what you're doing and where you're doing it and how much of it you're doing. You need to ask your accountant for sure. I am not an accountant, disclaimer. But the main things that you can deduct are basically if you buy any samples or products to try out that you're going to try to sell or promote, that would be tax deductible. So if you're buying products that you buy anyway, such as what if you have I have a website, right? I have a blog. So sometimes I do recipes. So anything I buy for those recipes, which is groceries that we're going to eat for dinner or lunch, those are all tax deductible. So I save the receipts and I can write off those groceries that I bought to use for my website, right? Because I'm taking pictures. That's another thing. If you have a camera, if you have a phone that you use for your business, you can write off all or part of it. Computer, internet, utilities. If you're at home, you can write off part of your mortgage or rent that you're already paying, right? So a lot of these expenses that you're already paying, you can start to write off on your taxes for next year, or for this year, but you'll do it next year. So that's huge because you can start to save a lot of money that you're spending anyway. Okay. Other things are car mileage. We said internet, phone bill, even airplane tickets, hotel rooms, convention fees, restaurant bills. So anything where you're having a meeting or you're learning something about your business or you're investing in your business somehow, traveling, whatever it is, you can write a lot of things off on your tax returns for next year. So that can be a big thing. If you travel to a place that you wanted to go anyway, but you're doing part of that for business, you can write a lot of the expenses off for your business, and that could be a big bonus. And who needs tax deductions? We all need tax deductions. How much do you pay in taxes every year? How much of your paycheck are you not taking home? How much more of a refund could you be getting? Or could you be getting a refund when now you're paying? So let's take a little example. Say you make $65,000 a year. That's like maybe an average income in the US for one person. Right now, with the current tax plan, you'd be paying 25% of that $65,000 per year if you had no deductions, and that's $16,250. So let's say you have a side hustle and you write off $15,000. So that's not hard to do. If you're doing it at home, you can write off part of your mortgage or rent, part of your utilities, your phone bill, your internet. That stuff really starts to add up. Then if you have any other expenses, if you ever travel, if you ever have plane tickets, restaurant bills, all that stuff in a whole year will add up to a lot of money. So let's say on average you can write off $15,000 in expenses for your new side hustle. Okay, when you start a new business with the IRS, it's acceptable to take a loss for 3 years. So you don't even have to like show a profit or that you've made any money for yourself over what you've put out for the first 3 years. So let's say this is the first year and you're not making a profit this year. So you just deduct that $15,000 tax deduction from your $65,000 and you have a $50,000 taxable income. Okay, so your new taxable income is $50,000. Now you've bumped yourself down to a lower tax bracket, and now it only taxes 12% of your income. That's less than half. Now you're paying 12% taxes on a total income of $50,000, which is $6,000 in taxes. You were paying $16,250. Now you're paying $6,000. You just made $10,250 without doing anything. Okay? Basically, you invested in your business. You had some expenses, you didn't even make any money, but you saved over $10,000 on your taxes. That's like a $10,000 raise, okay? So maybe now you think, okay, well maybe this is worth considering. Maybe I should get a side hustle. But what kind of side hustle can I get, right? Like what I want to do. Okay, so there's a lot of things that you could do. There's a few questions that you can ask yourself. If you could do something that you love and get paid for it, what would that be? How much money would you need to make to reach your goals? So is it like $1,000? If you want to replace your income, you may need $10,000 a month. You may need $5,000 or $6,000 a month. What's your number? How much money do you want to make? Or how much extra money do you want to make? How much time are you willing to put into it? What's your biggest motivation for finding a side hustle? Why do you really want to do it? Do you want extra money? Do you want the tax savings? Do you want to just be able to do something that you love? Do you want to replace your income? Do you want to spend more time with your kids? Do you want to travel more? What's your motivation? Why do you want to do this? What's your why? How would your life change if you had an extra $1,000 a month, $5,000 a month, $10,000 a month? What personal goals or your family's goals could be pursued or attained if you had financial freedom? Okay, so those are the things to ask yourself when you're considering a side hustle. All right, so there's also some objections, like people, when you present them with a side hustle, sometimes they're like, I don't know. So they might say, I don't have any money to invest in a new business. So there's a lot of different side hustles that have no investment or very little investment with a very good potential for income. A lot of network marketing companies, for example, you just invest a few $100s, maybe $100 to $600, something like that, in samples and supplies. And that's so you can try out the product, you can test it. A lot of times it's stuff that you buy anyway, and that's tax deductible as well. And that little investment can grow into the income per month that you're looking for. So you could, depending on how much you work, you could turn that into $1,000 a month, or $10,000 a month, or even more. I personally know people that are making a lot of money that started with a $300 product pack. So it's really, when you think about it, it's an investment in your side hustle, in your future, in a potentially almost unlimited income stream that you you can create. So a few $100s is really not a big investment. If you need to start another kind of brick and mortar business, you're gonna spend tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars to invest in a new business startup. So this is very small compared to that. And if you're short on funds, like if you don't have enough money, isn't that a really good reason to start a side hustle? You need extra money. So this is a good time to do it. And a lot of times you can make your money back in just a couple of weeks or in less than a month. So you can go ahead and just pay off that investment right away and then start making money. The second common objection is that I don't have time. So maybe you're busy working a full-time job, but will that job ever make you much more money than you're making right now? Do you think maybe it's time to consider starting a side hustle so that you don't have to be stuck in a job that you don't love, working all your time away and not ever having much income growth potential? Are you tired of doing the same thing every day, making someone else money? And isn't that the best reason to get a side hustle, to replace your current income and do something that you love instead? So I think that a side hustle is the best way to go. I basically just do side hustles myself. I'm working from home and I do several different side hustles. I'd love to discuss with you what you might consider doing as a side hustle, what your goals are, what your dreams are, what kind of money you want to make, how long you want to work. I'd love to brainstorm with you, like what you want to do and how you can figure out what your best side hustle is. So I will drop a link in the comments about the post that I did on a side hustle and some other information in that post about side hustles. And I would love to discuss with you more about your potential side hustle and the stuff that I do as well. So hit me up and we will discuss it. I'm Leah from Freedom and Coffee. Have a great day. Bye.